Good afternoon and welcome to this council meeting for the municipality of Dutton Dunwich, October 22nd, 2025. It is 5 p.m. and I will call this meeting to order. Tara, if you would, please.
Moved by Droulard, seconded by Dryfout, that the meeting of the council of the municipality of Dutton Dunwich opens at 5 p.m. All in favor? And that's carried.
I would remind council of any declaration of pecuniary interest. Anything on this agenda? I see none. The draft minutes were in the agenda package for council to review. Are there any errors, omissions, or comments on that? Tara, please.
And the minutes will be adopted as presented.
Tara, are there any items not listed on the agenda?
There are none.
Okay. Number 5 on your agenda, we have a delegation, 9 Lives Brewing, and it's an interim control bylaw exemption. Dale and Steph, come on up. Everybody knows everybody. I don't think introductions are necessary. Floor is yours.
Okay. Like you said, we're asking for an exemption to the interim control bylaw to work on our building.
Just to make it clear, this is for 161 Curry Road, just on Main Street there.
Thanks. So until this point, we've obviously waited for a highly anticipated solution to our wastewater treatment plant capacity issues from council and leaders, advocating for ourselves and trying to have patience as much as we can. We're now requesting an exemption to the interim control bylaw to give us an opportunity to complete our zoning bylaw amendment and obtain permits to work on our building. So we would like to share with you a timeline rundown with the purpose of conveying that we were making great strides under the false pretense that there would be no foreseeable issues pertaining to Dutton Dunwich's infrastructure, preventing us from our business plans. So I'm going to start with July 17th, 2024. Before we even purchased the building, we met with Tracy Fillon Abs, the former planner with Dutton Dunwich, to share with her our business plan of 9 Lives Brewing, and she provided kind of no concerning feedback at that time. On September 11th, 2024, the same planner, Tracy, informed us of the zoning bylaw amendment process. Then that brings us to October 1st, 2024. We got the keys to 161 Curry Road. It officially became ours. October 9th, 2024, we presented a delegation at council, our new business endeavor, 9 Lives Brewing. I'm sure most of you remember that presentation that we shared. We were met with excitement, and even after directly asking, no one shared any concerns or really foreseeable complications. So November 3rd, 2024, we submitted our application for the pitch through Elgin County Business Resource Center, and we were named runner-up. December 1st, 2024, we submitted our zoning bylaw pre-consultation. January 29th, 2025, we received a pre-consultation review of our proposed microbrewery, 9 Lives Brewing. The only comment from water/wastewater department was, quote unquote, property owner is aware that there is a 3/4 inch service to this property. They will need to determine if this is adequate for their needs. There may also be capacity issues with the wastewater treatment plant, and FSR will be required. It was summarized in 2 sentences. We were really excited that that was really the only maybe considered pushback from anyone from all municipal departments. So we were kind of gung-ho, like full steam ahead. February 26, 2025, we submitted our business plan to Elgin County Business Resource Center for a business loan. On April 26, 2025, it was denied on the grounds that we did not have zoning approval. March 4th, 2025, Due North completed concept drawings for 9 Lives Brewing. They were kind of given the green light unofficially from the building inspector after a few rounds of revisions. March 12th, 2025, the interim control bylaw was put into place by council. March 26, 2025, we paid nearly $9,000 to have a decrepit septic system removed from our property, of 161 Curry. A septic tank that we had no idea acted as the wastewater system for the previous business illegally. The septic tank was depositing into the rainwater system. The sewage was never connected to the municipal sewer prior to us finding and fixing this problem. We were told it was connected to municipal sewage when we purchased the building, and we took that loss and fixed it and remedied it entirely on our own finances. April 1st, 2025, CR Drafting and Design Services completed our mechanical drawings. And then at this point, we were informed that we would have to wait at least 1 year until further developments could be made on 9 Lives Brewing. So we just kind of wanted to share that timeline just to kind of illustrate that we were, putting all of our time, energy, and finances into this project. This wasn't on the whim. It was very much carefully planned and thought out through guidance of, members of the municipality. On May 14th, 2025, we met with Don McLeod, Matt Vaughn, and Jackie Morgan-Bunin. We shared our concerns and asked for some guidance and a timeline, and we were ultimately told that there was no real exceptions to be made, and we have to continue to be patient. June 27th, 2025, we emailed council and requested any updates or timelines on progress made with the wastewater treatment plant. On July 16th, 2025, we emailed council and asked for an update. In continuation of this, on August 6th, 2025, Matt Vaughn, obviously Director of Planning for Elgin County, and the former CAO, Don McLeod, explained the parameters around council approving a holding provision in place of an interim control bylaw. So Don's email read verbatim, "Hi, Matt. I spoke to Jackie on this file and we concur this should be one of the projects prioritized due to the status of consultation with the municipality prior to the implementation of the interim control bylaw." Again, super excited. We kind of thought that was our green light, but nothing really substantial or tangible happened after that. We were just hoping that this email would give us kind of enough credit and merit that we could continue the building. August 26, 2025, we asked about grant progress and if there's any updates in regards to the wastewater treatment plant. September 17th, 2025, we met with Tony, the new CAO, who explained a proposed plan involving a clarifier and pump station upgrades / new force main, which was definitely welcomed news. October 1st, 2025, 1 year of our building just kind of sitting empty. Nothing we can do with it. We can't work on it because as it stands, it's only zoned for purposes that we have no intention of using it for. Finally, October 8th, 2025, during the council meeting 2 weeks ago, approval was given to a major developer for the same proposal we are making right now, an exemption to the interim control bylaw, which will ultimately allow us to move forward with necessary upgrades to our building. That way, when the wastewater treatment plant has more capacity, because we understand that is still an issue and we are willing to wait until that's resolved, we will be ready to hook up to the municipal wastewater system. Thank you.
She has said a lot, and the biggest thing that I would like to add to that, like she did a great detail there with all of the steps that we've gone through, all of the frustrations we've worked through, and we've put our heart and soul into this, and we've had so much help and support from all of the community, all of our friends, all of the neighbors. And they always just are asking, how can we help? How can we help? And we tell them there's nothing we can do. We're just waiting. We're sitting, we're waiting. And it's the biggest frustration that we've always had is that throughout this whole process, we see new development here, new development there, new development here. I get that some of those building permits were done before, but it's just, those were the biggest things that throughout this whole process, new buildings, new huge buildings being built. And we are an existing building and we don't even want to connect to the wastewater. We still have 1.5 years of work before we even need to connect to the wastewater. And that's where we've been waiting a full year doing nothing. And that's our biggest issue right now. And we still are going to be another 1.5 years before we even have anything to do. Well, sorry, we have another year and a half of work before we can even open, hopefully, if we got it today. So that's what we're hoping for. Thank you.
Okay. We've heard you and we're working on a solution for situations like you have, so I'll leave it at that for now. But I'll ask, when was the last time you spoke with our CAO, Tony?
That would have been, we had a personal meeting September 17th.
Okay,
And since then, I don't think we've spoke with him directly.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. He will be your contact person moving forward.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Henry. Yep.
Through you, Mayor Hens, just a quick question, zoning amendment. What's the zoning amendment? What's it gonna be changed to? Is it because of capacity water usage? Is that the reasoning for the zoning amendment?
No, the zoning amendment is because it's changing from retail to a retail commercial to technically it's gonna be called manufacturing
Okay.
because we're producing beer on site and also selling the product. It's a very weird classification. Jackie sent us the exact from the zoning. I don't have it with me right now, but she sent us the exact.
Okay, so
Why?
the other part to that is you had existing washrooms in the building that were in use prior to, I'm just asking the question.
Yes,
So are you adding additional washrooms to the facility?
that's correct. We have one bathroom right now, and we're going to be adding 2 more.
Okay, so it troubles me that, there's probably a EBRC thing that you have to have the zoning approval before you can receive any additional funding. So I guess the question I have is that when you get your building permit or you get the approval with the zoning amendment, are you eligible to reapply for the funding, for the grant fund, or the loan? Is a loan, right, that you're applying for?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Actually, we just got an email from Tanya from the Elgin County Business Resource Center asking for updates because she really wants to work with us to get the loan processed.
Okay, so the timeline from when your expectation of opening, if you were to receive the permit now, you're saying it'll be another year and a half of a process that you would have to go through?
Oh, it's going to be at least that.
Okay,
Like that would be if everything went perfect. Like, yeah.
all right, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Dale and Steph. We have heard you.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. We have a drainage issue, and it's to appoint the engineer for the McCaffrey drain. Pretty self-explanatory. Clerk Tara, please.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich appoints Spreed Associates Limited to prepare the necessary report for the Section 78 petition for the McCaffrey Drain filed by David and Martha Brubacher, and that notice of council's decision to appoint the engineer be sent to the requester, Lower Thames Valley Conservation Authority, OMAFRA, and Spreed Associates Limited. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, on to correspondence. We have the Halton Region Resolution, Republic Safety Requirement, Protect Our Communities. Does anyone wish to speak to that? Everybody's okay with that one? Okay, Tara, please.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Drulard, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich supports the resolution from the Regional Municipality of Halton, recognizing the steps already taken by the federal government through Bill C-48 and acknowledges the commitment to introduce further legislation in fall of 2025, calling on the Government of Canada to prioritize and expedite the introduction of its promised bail and sentencing reforms in the upcoming session of Parliament, calling on the Province of Ontario to invest in and strengthen the administration of justice, including enhancing bail enforcement and monitoring, increasing resources for Crown prosecutors and court operations, expanding judicial capacity and detention infrastructure, encouraging a national coordinated approach involving all levels of government to ensure community safety is not compromised by gaps in bail or sentencing systems, calling for policy consideration in future reforms such as expanding reverse onus provisions for repeat violent offenders, establishing stronger mandatory bail conditions, including firearm prohibitions, curfews, electronic monitoring, and no contact orders, limiting multiple bail releases for individuals with histories of serious violent offenses, improving interagency information sharing among police, Crown prosecutors, and corrections, prioritizing victim and community impact in bail decisions, and calling on the federal and provincial governments to review criminal code time limits and rules for stay of proceedings in cases involving serious and violent offenses, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Rob Flack, MPP, Andrew Lawton, MP, and Halton Region. All in favor? And that's carried.
That was a mouthful. We also have another item under correspondence, the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal. Resolution re Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund, the OCIF funding. Go ahead with the resolution and I'll entertain comments.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Drouillard, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich supports the resolution from the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal. One, calling upon the Government of Ontario to extend the annual OCIF envelope at not less than 400 million beyond its current 5-year term ending in 2026, with no reductions in subsequent provincial budgets. 2, requesting the province to index the total annual OCIF envelope and each individual municipal allocation to the Ontario Consumer Price Index calculated on a calendar year basis and dispersed in the first quarter of each fiscal year. 3, that the Ministry of Infrastructure establish a new 5-year OCIF funding framework that guarantees annual envelopes and allocation percentages by municipality, enabling a long-term capital planning and stable cash flow management. 4, that the province undertake a formal review of the OCIF allocation formula at least once every 4 years, incorporating current municipal asset management data, demographic projections, climate resilience metrics, and rural equity considerations. 5, a dedicated contingency reserve equal to 5% of the annual OCIF envelope be created within the fund to address extraordinary cost escalations, emergency repairs, or project overruns without reallocating core funding. 6, and that the Ministry of Infrastructure publish an annual OCIF performance report, including program disbursements, allocation adjustments, and reserve expenditures in a transparent, publicly accessible online dashboard, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Rob Flack, MPP, Andrew Lawton, MP, and the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal.
Before we vote, any comments from our treasurer on that item, correspondence? Okay, council? I wanted to hear the full resolution before I asked the question, and I think what would be nice is stable, known funding, not this got a little extra 1 year and okay, call the question.
All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay.
And moved by Drouillard, seconded by Dreyfus, that relevant correspondence was reviewed. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, on the consent agenda, we have the Elgin OPP Detachment Board June and September meeting minutes. And we have Watson and Associates, the proposed changes to the building code to operationalize residential development charges to occupancy. Anyone wish to speak to either of those? Any comments, Jackie, on the DCs to occupancy? No. I think a fair compromise. Go ahead, Councilor Dreyfus.
I do know that, the on occupancy is something that has been discussed amongst our local developers because it does help them in overall development. So I think that's a reasonable I think it's a reasonable approach to a situation, especially in our case where we're delaying this, development. So I think it's a good approach.
Anything further from council? Okay,
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that the items on the consent agenda be approved. All in favor? And that's carried.
okay. Now, James, you're on the hot seat. Your treasurer's report, please. Water and wastewater billing, payment and collections policy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So every few years, we go through our policies. We went through our water and wastewater billing payment and collection policy in the last few weeks, and just some changes that we want to make going forward in 2026. One of the most major changes is changing our billing frequency from quarterly to every other month or bi-monthly. We're looking at changing this. We think it'll help customers who, they get a high bill and they have a leak, it'll speed up that process for them to be able to get to it before their bill gets to $400 or $500. Won't come with much extra added costs. About to do 2 more readings a year, because we're currently doing 4, so now we'd be doing 6. That would be about a $4,000 increase to the water budget. One of the other changes we would like to make is no longer putting water accounts into tenant's name. It would remain in the property owner's names. That would eliminate the need to track deposits, make sure we get them. By putting it in the landlord's name, I mean, it's always been the responsibility of the property owner, but this way the landlord would be responsible for making sure it gets paid as well. And then one of the last things we want to do is, this policy will come to the next meeting, is put in for some kind of forgiveness for high water leak adjustment. If there is a leak determined, we'll bring a policy forward to the next council meeting that'll detail the steps that a homeowner would have to go through to possibly be granted some forgiveness. It would be capped. It'd be a one and done deal for them. You only get it once in their lifetime owning of the home. So those are the 3 major changes that we're looking at making to the policy.
Okay, thank you for that report, James. Are there any questions from council? You say it will be coming to the next meeting.
The high water leak forgiveness will be.
Yeah. And the high water leak, so that would be handled by staff.
Yeah, so currently in our policy, it's stated that if a customer wishes to grant forgiveness on the part of a bill, they are to make a delegation before council. This is taking it out of council's hands. Basically, it's not something that I feel council should make a decision on. It should just be a policy that this is how you apply. This is the parameters of what you need to meet. Very straightforward.
I like it. So anything further from council? Thank you, James, for that report. Fair, please.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Drewlard, that the council of the municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report of the acting treasurer titled Water and Wastewater Billing Payment and Collections Policy dated October 22nd, 2025 for information, and that council approves updated water and wastewater billing payment and collections policy F03006. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, thank you. Item 10 is, Tony, are you with us?
I am, Mr. Worship. Can you hear me okay?
Can we increase the volume?
All right.
Try it now, Tony.
How about now? Can you hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear. So you're up with your report.
Okay, great. Thank you, Your Worship. I apologize. I could not be there in person today, so I wanted to be able to call in today and discuss a couple of my reports. So the first report that you have in front of you is the exemption to the Dutton Dunwich interim control bylaw. So as you can see in the report, we wanted to outline some specifics, and specifically the previous interpretation of permits that were issued between March 13th, 2025 and September 10th, 2025. Meeting with the chief building official, we went through and we identified some permits that were issued that had no or undetermined wastewater flow, but to ensure that we follow the interim control bylaw, any permits issued does require council approval. So we had listed them there, and also the potential of what impact they would have on our wastewater control plant. In addition to that, one of my main clear mandates coming in was to address the wastewater treatment plant issue. So I've been working on identifying some of the solutions and how we're going to address each and every step. So council has been receiving updated reports, as well as meeting with residents, listening to some of their comments, including the delegates here today, and some of the issues that are currently facing the municipality. So it's a unique situation that we needed to come up with an innovative solution. So something that's a balanced approach. We came up with something that protects the interests of the municipality, ensuring that we have proper attention to our wastewater treatment plant, as well as development in the community. So we were looking at what we can do to come up with a solution. So the solution that we came up with was to look at issuing a conditional permit. So basically, it would allow the work to be completed up to the point where it would be connected to the wastewater connection. And as you had seen in previous reports, we are putting a plan forward to have the solution completed in the spring of 2026. So we do see some light at the end of the tunnel, and we said, well, it would make sense to ensure that work can be completed, whether it's zone application process, site plan. It could be building work that could be completed as well, again under the conditional permit. So we met with the CBO as well as legal to ensure that we have the proper agreements in place if anyone would like to put something forward. So in that process, we did identify 3 properties you see in the report: 260 Curry Road, 161 Curry Road, and 11158 Curry Road, Unit 401. So I had a discussion with Dylan Consulting with regards to these 3 developments, and given that we do have a safeguard in place with a conditional permit agreement, there would be no impact on our wastewater flow to the treatment plant. So our next step was to look at putting together a plan, and we're also meeting the project timelines that we're still tendering currently: our pump station, force main, and the clarifier updates. So as you can see in the report here, we identified those properties, and in your recommendation, you will see the permits that were issued for building permits for 229 John Street, 214 Nancy, 194 Curry Road, 11158 Curry Road, Unit 102, 11158 Curry Road, Unit 201, 202 Leach Road, and 206 Leach Road. So, and then the 3 properties that I just discussed. Open to any questions.
Okay, thank you, Tony, for that report, and it's quite clear. But council, do you have any comments or questions? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Support the report completely, and I think it's time we need to get some of these things, at least get some of the planning work done. I guess my question to Tony is, once we actually get the tender let and we have a good idea on when the work would be complete, would we be then in a position to look at some of these other lots that are already approved in plans of subdivision and give them the same conditional approvals?
Through you, your worship, that's a very good question, Deputy Mayor. As included in my report, we identified also any new applications that would require exemption to the ICBL. So they would be brought back to administration. We would definitely take a look at those, do our due diligence, meet with our county planning department as well as Dillon Consulting to look to see if there's any additional impact on the flow to the wastewater control plant. And then a report we brought back. Anytime that we would require a permit to be issued, whether it's a conditional permit, anything that's currently in place with the interim control bylaw, we are going to be coming back to council just like we are right now for these properties that we identified in the report.
Okay. Anything further from the council? Okay. There's some good news. Okay. We've been working hard to get to this point and a lot of hoops to jump through, but we have a path forward. Okay. Okay.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Drulard, that the Council of the Municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report from the Chief Administrative Officer titled Exemptions to Dutton Dunwich Interim Control Bylaw dated October 22nd, 2025 for information, and that council approve an exemption from the interim control bylaw for building permits issued for 229 John Street, 214 Nancy Street, 194 Curry Road, 11158 Curry Road, Unit 102, 11158 Curry Road, Unit 201, 202 Leach Street, and 206 Leach Street, and that council approve an exemption from the interim control bylaw for the building application of 260 Curry Road, subject to no increase in occupancy through a conditional permit agreement satisfactory to the chief building official, and that council approve an exemption from the interim control bylaw for the building application of 11158 Curry Road, Unit 401, subject to occupancy not being granted until the current Dutton Dunwich wastewater treatment plant upgrades are completed through a conditional permit agreement satisfactory to the chief building official, and further that council approve an exemption from the interim control bylaw for a site plan approval process, zoning bylaw amendment process, and building permit application for 161 Curry Road, subject to occupancy not being granted until the current Dutton Dunwich wastewater treatment plant upgrades are completed through a conditional permit agreement satisfactory to the chief building official. All in favor? And that's carried.
Mouthful. I'm gonna, Adrian, you took time to come out tonight. I'd entertain any comments or
No,
from
I
you.
appreciate it. As you can tell, Agris has put quite a commitment into the community, and the third phase of this project was to put a new office in, predominantly to meet the AODA requirements for accessibility for both our customers and staff. Our existing office is old, it's elevated, and this is just to get a better working condition for our existing staff. We currently don't have plans to expand the number of people, but it's time we upgrade some of our older facilities. So
Thank you, Adrian, and thank you for spending, I don't know how many million in Dutton Dunwich, but fair chunk of change.
a little bit over $8 million
Yeah.
has been invested in at 260.
Okay,
And we're currently spending $5.5 million at Glencoe at 2011 McKellar there. So Agris has been profitable. We believe in sharing it with communities, and we hope to keep doing it after 104 years.
Yeah, you have an extra 30 million around.
anyway, thank you, Adrian.
We'll see you later.
Dale and Steph, I hope you got the news you were looking for.
He sure did.
Okay.
very much.
Take care. Did you need something, Kelsey? Okay. Okay, let's get back on track. Tony, if you're still with us, thank you for that report.
You're welcome.
I guess we're not done yet. Go on to the next one, or have we asked the question about track?
No, we've still got to do 22nd report.
So, okay. Included in Tony's duties here tonight is West Elgin Community Health Center lease. So everyone has received that document, but Tony, go ahead and I'll let you lead us through it.
Great, thank you, Your Worship, members of council. Before you, you have the West Elgin Community Health Center lease. You may be aware that currently we had Service Ontario that was occupying the Dutton Dunwich Medical Center, and there was some space that was available. In meeting with various community members, specifically West Elgin Community Health, their lease was coming due, and it was an opportunity for us to have some dialogue and for them to be able to continue being a presence in our municipality. So it looked like it was a very good fit. After further meetings, we were able to propose a lease in our Dutton Dunwich medical building, as you see before you. Now, this is specifically the services that assisted living function of the West Elgin Community Health Center was providing. Assisting high-risk seniors in the community. This includes assistance with personal care tasks like dressing, grooming, bathing, housekeeping, laundry, medication reminders, security checks, and social support. These services come at no cost to eligible clients. So again, we are listening to what the community is looking for, and if this gets approved today, this would be a really good opportunity to continue to assist the West Elgin Community Health in our community. Open to any questions.
Thank you for that report and all the work to get this done, Tony. Any questions from council? No? Okay.
Moved by Drulard, seconded by Dryfoot, that the council of the municipality of Dutton Dunwich receives the report from the chief administrative officer titled West Elgin Community Health Center lease for information, and that council of the municipality of Dutton Dunwich approves and directs the chief administrative officer to execute the lease with the West Elgin Community Health Center. All in favor? And that's carried.
Thank you. Is there any unfinished business? Seeing none? Any new business?
Just through you, I just wanted to thank staff for making sure that we get that education information out to our residents of Dutton Dunwich about the I&I that's potentially probably more than likely happening. There was a lot of great feedback that came from that, and I really appreciate that the staff was right on that and got it done for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Any announcements? I have one, and it's just a shout out. I attended the Cultivating Success in Small Towns last week at the International Club with Richard Petty, and what a successful event. So thanks to the Elgin County Economic Development in partnership with Henry, your group, big crowd. I got a lot out of it, and I think everybody there did. And one thing that I got out of it, and I had a good chance to speak with Richard Petty prior to the meeting. We sat down for quite some time. He's very generous with his time. But I did ask a question with the panel, and my question was, what role did local government play in the success of the 10 towns listed in his book? And he came back with a question, what is your vision? He didn't say that he supported financially anything, and I've talked to Councillor Dreyfus, what is our vision? I wasn't able to answer that. just something to think about. And with your economic development committee as well, Henry, just what is our vision in Dutton? And I think it's important for people like Dale and Steph and others that are investing in this community. And one other item, last week on Thursday with West Elgin Community Health, we did host a town hall. Not a big crowd. There was good conversation though. I sat at, I think, 3 different tables and a lot of information exchanged, mostly with health professionals, but some of them didn't realize what others were doing. So it was quite helpful, I thought. I just wish more people had participated. But anyway, we'll call it a success and maybe we try it again in the future. But it's like throwing a budget meeting, you know, we can't get anybody to come out to it. Go ahead, Councillor Dreyfus.
Through your Mayor Hens, I appreciate the comments on the Cultivating Success event, and I thought it was our best one that we had, and you're right. I think Richard Petty challenged everybody in the room with you know, what do we want out of small towns and our communities, and what's our expectation and how can we get there? And I don't think it was a unreasonable question. We're not asking. He's not asking us to do everything all at once. It's a step-by-step process, and I think that we're going through that in Dutton because I think we see it and on our main streets, and we see it in our new commercial development. And I think Deputy Mayor Loveland would attest to this. We continually get asked to consider different economic approaches to in our community. And I don't think we should turn anything away. I think we should look at every objective and try to analyze again with what is the vision for Dutton Dunwich, and what do we as a participants, how do we encourage that along? So I think there was a lot good that came out of it, and it was challenging even for Elgin County to sit in that, and all the different mayors that were there, and staff from different communities. It was worth, to me, it was totally worth the whole event. So I appreciate that. And also with regards to the event we had the next evening, and I know Councillor Drulard was there. Yeah, it was a small crowd, but I was really taken back by how the people felt about our medical, what they're looking for in our community, and surprised in some areas that what was said, and so that was encouraging to me as well. And I think we have a really good opportunity to work. What came out of that on our table was that we have a great opportunity to work with the West Elgin Community Health Center and strengthen the whole organization. And if we can benefit from that as Dutton Dunwich, it's a blessing in disguise. And the other part, you know, the rental of them going into the medical building as well, it's a win for us. It's you know, we got it all under one roof. And I think our next objective, as we have discussed in council before, is the Daffodil. We need to solve their problem, and we're working on that slowly with the CAO, and we'll get there. So I think everything's going in the right direction, in my opinion. So.
Okay, thank you for the comments. Councillor Drulard, go ahead.
Yeah, and about the event last Thursday night, although I wasn't able to attend or stay for the whole meeting, I had the opportunity to listen to community members, and what I see is that people are looking for the value added by our healthcare for our entire community. So just something that when you think of value added, it's not just having a doctor, it's about all those other little pieces like food and supports for youth and seniors. So it really was valuable. And maybe if we have a little more lead time, the next time we can get more folks to come out.
I think the good can come out of it, and a lot of it hinges on West Elgin Community Health getting the funding that they deserve. And I think they have a stronger case now because their catchment area is and always has been Dutton Dunwich, but we've kind of flown under the radar. So we're going to put that front and center, and hopefully, and it's something to consider. Also, Roma is coming up, and give some thought to delegations as well. Maybe we run that one at Health again. Fund the thing like it should be funded. It's not just in West Elgin, they're serving Dutton Dunwich as well. So something to think about. Go ahead.
Just add one more comment to that thought, and I should have said it in my initial conversation, but it was mentioned at the end of the evening by one of the participants of that event, is that why Mayor Hens asked why more people wouldn't attend, what could we have done better? And she made a comment that simply stated, had you have published it that you're taking something away, let's say we're losing a doctor, or we are losing our medical clinic, you would have had the place full. And I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. It's until we start taking things away from the general public is when everybody gets up in arms. And this is important to get ahead of this even before that happens. And I think our general public needs to hear that.
Go ahead, Councilor Dillard.
Sorry not to beat this to death, but you mentioned about that West Elgin Community Health Center has always served Dutton Dunwich and surrounding areas. And having sat on that board for a number of years, that has been a myth that they have been trying to dispel since the inception of West Elgin Community Health Center. So I'm glad that the word is getting out there that it is not just residents of West Elgin that benefit from that.
Okay. Good discussion. Thing under proposed bylaws. Okay, we're going to wrap this up in, I think, record time. Confirm proceedings, Tara.
Moved by Dreyfus, seconded by Loveland, that bylaw 2025-47 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the municipal council of the municipality of Dutton Dunwich be read a first, second, and third time and passed. All in favor? And that's carried.
And the date for the future meetings are in front of you. And the last one.
Moved by Loveland, seconded by Drewlark, that the meeting of the council of the municipality of Dutton Dunwich closes at 5:46 p.m. All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, all the best, Tony.
Great.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening. Have
Yeah.
a good evening.
I just think